So I, Terry Haig, am administering the meeting tonight because Heather is on vacation. I hope she's having a great old time. So we are back in open session. There are no positive steps service awards, no presentations, no public input. So we are to the consent agenda. And I should roll through those, right? Okay. So we had approval of minutes, we have vouchers, payroll checks, account payable, automated clearinghouse payments, credit card payments, fundraising requests. We have one alumni soccer game, sales of soccer merchandise. We have no fundraiser reports. We have no field trip reports. We have committee recommendation for approval. The curriculum committee recommendations were for new textbooks approvals and the 2024-25 professional development plan. Under other, we have impartial hearing officer, spring sports summary, request of student data, Midwest Scholastic request of student data, Empire photography, substitute handbook revisions, WIAA renewals, staff handbook changes, and Wednesday night activity request. Okay, under resignations, we have 8th grade science teacher. Under co-curricular, we have mock trial assistant, forensics assistant, leadership council, Dungeons and Dragons 2 at 50%, Interact Club advisor, esports advisor. And then under community program crew, we have lead lifeguard swim coach, we have lifeguards 2, we have crew instructors 2. Under regular staff, we have educational assistant lead 5, we have district-wide health assistant 1, we have middle school counselor 1, and 8th grade science teacher 1. Personnel other. We have administrative professional improvement requests, Brent Richter, and that's it.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the addition of the approval of crew instructors Bentley Smith and Catherine Schilling.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Passes. All right. So then we can move on to communications and administrative reports.
Yeah, so all the administrators are excused from the July meeting every year, so the only administrative report really we have is the LCAT school board report.
Okay. So this is the LCAT report. The second annual summer safety fair took place on June 6, 2024 in conjunction with summer school registration. 10 different organizations took part in this event. This fun-free community event educated families on how to keep their children safe during the summer and beyond. Approximately 400 people attended. Door prizes included booster seats, bike helmets, and life jackets that were given away as part of the drawing. Thank you to all attendees, vendors, and especially Janelle Sivim and Emma Newmeyer for all of their hard work on this event. LCAT provided a $1,500 donation to Blessings in a Backpack to purchase food for students who struggle with food insecurity over the summer. This funding was provided by the State of Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction and AODA grant. LCAT partnered with Prevent Suicide Columbia County to get anchor boxes to a guidance counselors in the elementary, middle, and high school buildings. Find Your Anchor is a grassroots movement aimed in suicide prevention, awareness, and education. In the anchor box, which we got to see at the meeting, you will find various materials designed to inspire, soothe, and offer support. These boxes are purchased from a state grant that was given to Prevent Suicide Columbia County. LCAT is hosting the second annual Duck the Wall with Art show on Tuesday, August 6th from 5 p.m. to 7:30. This event will be held in conjunction with the 10th annual National Night Out event. The art show is for students who reside within the Lodi School District boundaries and are between the ages of 5 and 19 years old to showcase and to sell their art. They don't take credit cards, folks, so bring your cash. It is not too late to sign up for this fun event. Sign up and using the QR code located on the event flyer on LCAT's Facebook page and also on the school's Peach Jar. LCAT is busy planning the 10th annual National Night Out which will be taking place on Tuesday, August 6th, from 5 to 7:30 p.m. This free, fun community event has numerous family-friendly filled activities. We have a climbing wall. The planning meeting for National Night Out was discussed at the June 26th LCAT meeting. Please help spread the word about the awesome upcoming event. And truly, it is really fun. It is fun, and then Adam brings his little animals, and so do other people. And we have food, and these kids are just so much fun to watch them. It's just fun to watch all the little kids run around. And families are so happy that we're doing something in the park.
I have a question.
Yes.
I don't know if it was LCAT that used to do it. Do they still do the high school, where I remember at one point, a couple times they did like a big accident scene, or is that something different?
That's
Yeah,
Okay.
so like, LCAT was part of, the high school just did that.
Okay,
Yeah, the high school
okay.
did that.
I was just curious.
In looking at the research, it's not very effective.
Okay.
So
For
you
the
put all this
time
work
they-
into it.
Right,
that's
right.
not
For the
something
time they
that's very
take
effective.
outside.
I was
Yeah.
just curious if it was
Yeah.
part of that, or I couldn't remember.
LCAT
so-
played a role the first, I mean,
Yeah.
they were doing it before
Yeah.
LCAT.
Yeah,
Okay. All
but
right,
for the time they take outside, Sarah, and,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
okay. Oh, just
It's like
question.
those movies we used to see in the driver's ed when people ran into the back of the semi. That was
In the
supposed to
little
make you not-
simulators?
Yeah, and that,
Yeah.
no, it was like a
Yeah.
movie. And it was awful, and it was supposed to make you not tailgate, and that worked for like maybe a week or two. They didn't tailgate. So, okay, president's report, right?
Administrative report, district
Okay,
administrator.
you're first. You get to go first.
I get to go first. Yeah, so Taher put together a picture book of the highlights of the year, so it's been being passed around the board. Mr. Bilsey's looking at it right now, so there's just different pictures of the work that Taher did this year, so thanks to them for showing that to us.
a lot of fun stuff in there.
Yeah, there is.
That they did.
We will be reviewing the collective commitments tonight that the board has made. We do that twice a year, so when that comes up as an agenda item, I will talk more about that. Art at the fair, so just a reminder to the board members, last year the board decided they're gonna select pieces of art at the Lodi Fair that will be framed and placed in the boardroom during the school year. So each board member should go down there and take a picture of their two favorite pieces of art. Make sure the artist's name is in the picture and send that information to Maureen. Indicate which one is your top choice and which one's your second choice. And each board member's been assigned different grade levels, to ensure that we have pictures from each school. And the board members so we've talked about which ones they're supposed to be assigned to, and then we will, again, like we put the art up this past year, we will do that again. So thank you for everybody for doing that.
It makes those gray walls look so much nicer.
We are hosting a Office of School Safety training tomorrow, so if you see extra police officers and other things in town, that is why, at the high school. It is after summer school, so from 12 to 4. It's a reunification training, so we were able to, invite our staff, and then, our first responders, and then they opened it up statewide and area-wide. So we have 75 people coming to that training tomorrow, so looking forward to that. We also will be doing a press conference. I was informed today that we're doing a press conference. The Attorney General is going to be here and
wow,
do a
nice.
press conference on the importance of these trainings, so I will be participating in a press conference.
Nice.
So there goes the idea of wearing shorts and a t-shirt to the training.
Yeah,
But it's a good training,
you
and
have to be
so we've been trying to do that every year, like some sort of safety training, and working closely with our first responders to make sure that we can do everything we can do to keep our buildings and school and community safe. On that note, though, our district office will be closed tomorrow from 12 to 4, so everybody can come and participate in that training. And finally, I just want to mention Dave Poles on Saturday, April 5th, 2025. Former Lodi High School football coach Dave Poles will be honored, along with 12 other new members of the 46th enshrinement into the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame.
Fantastic.
Coach Poles was recently selected as one of those newest members. During his 20-year career as a head coach, he accumulated a record of 174 wins and 48 losses, 9 conference championships, 18 playoff appearances, 6 WIA Level 4 playoff appearances, 3 state finals, and 2 state championships. So we'd like to congratulate Dave, his family, and his coaching staff, because this all comes in, and his players, right? It's all everybody together. It's a true testament to the tremendous amount of time and energy he and his coaching staff have put together over the years, building a successful program that has not only produced success in the field, but has given countless young men and women the opportunity to excel and be successful as leaders in their school and the Lodi community. Once the date is established, the community and media will be invited to Lodi High School Stadium to attend a halftime recognition ceremony to recognize Coach Poles in earning this incredible accomplishment. So, congratulations, Coach Poles.
Yeah. Wow. What a cool thing, huh?
Yeah, that's all I
Well
have.
deserved.
Okay. Well, I have the president's report via Heather. So, first of all, this is speaking as Heather. I want to say thank you to our Vice President Terry for running tonight's meeting. While I'm out of town, I hate to miss tonight, but our family vacation has been the same week every year before I was born, so it's pretty hard to change dates now. I also wanted to bring up that our last meeting was definitely missing a presence, and that it is our formal student representative, Caleb. I was very impressed, and I can say confidently that other board members were just as impressed as me with his professionalism. It was really incredible with Caleb. He did such a nice job. The confidence and the great personality that Caleb brought to our meetings. He did great this year on his reports, and it was very helpful and informative to have him as a voice for the high school student body. I love that our board has a student representative, and Caleb was definitely a great choice by his peers. We wish him luck in all his future endeavors and know that he will be a very successful person in anything he does. Even though it's summer and school is out, many of our students will be bustling with excitement and some working hard with the Lodi Fair happening at the end of the week and this weekend. As many of you know, the fair provides great opportunities for our students in many aspects, whether it's volunteering, setting up, tearing down for the fair, planning different fair activities, working, showing animals, and of course, just having fun participating in all the different activities the fair has to offer. It even provides a chance for alumni to come back to town to see everybody and or participate in the alumni softball tourney. It takes so many more people and so much more time than most realize to make the fair successful every year. And I'm sure I can speak for most of our community members. Thank you for everyone that makes it happen. I'm guessing most of you plan on already being there, but please don't forget to experience one of Lodi's oldest, most memorable traditions. It's just another example of how amazing our community is and another opportunity to be proud of Lodi. Like I have expressed in the past, our teachers and staff are still working hard all summer for our students, whether it be planning, organizing, and or getting more educated themselves, all for our students. Just want to say thank you for all that you do to make this district the best it can be. Sounds like summer school is going well, and thank you to all the staff that are making that happen. I know that the kids are loving it like always, and we are very grateful that our district provides such great opportunities and choices for our students. Thank you to this district and community for giving me the opportunity to serve on this board. I'm looking forward to our board professional development meetings that we will be having soon with Drew Holwick. It's a great opportunity for us to get to know each other better. It gives us better insight for our roles, duties for this board, and gives us better tools for working together better to make the best decisions for our kids. Hope everyone is having a great summer, being safe, and making great memories. There you go. Okay, so let's see. Academic standards.
Yeah, so it is required as part of Act 55 that each year the Board of Education adopts and communicates the standards by which instruction is provided to students across the district. This agenda item was brought to the Curriculum Committee at the Board at their June 26, 2024 meeting. The Curriculum Committee voted unanimously to bring the item to the full Board of Education with recommendation for approval. Just so people know, we use the Next Generation Science Standards, the ACT College Readiness Standards at the high school, and then the Wisconsin Academic Standards as a foundation for instruction.
I move to approve the proposed academic standards for the 24-25 school year.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 6-0, passes. All right, board collective commitments.
Yeah, so in the summer and fall of 2022, the Board of Education worked through a three-part professional development series with Drew Horwick. One of the items that came from that work was the establishment of collective commitments that represent a pledge to oneself and to other board members. These collective commitments are placed at the Board of Education table at every board meeting for the board to reference, so we have them here. As a part of the collective commitment process, the board committed to reviewing the collective commitments twice annually, once in the summer and once during the board's self-evaluation process in December or January. Therefore, the board needs to review and reaffirm these commitments that the members made to themselves and others. The board, as it just said in Heather's report, is planning on working with Mr. Harwick again, in addition, to do some more professional development, and these may change at some point. However, until that time, if there are some changes that are made, I would still recommend that we go through the current collective commitments, and the board should review and recommit to these commitments. So we laid out kind of the board members, we're gonna read through them, each of them are gonna take a part, and then have a discussion at the end.
Okay, so I'll start out. School District of Lodi Board of Education Collective Commitments. Behaviors and processes that lead to highly effective discussions and high-quality decisions, ensuring every student achieves their full potential. The Lodi School Board has established these collective commitments that represent pledges to oneself and to other board members. They were created through open discussion and a thorough multi-step revision process. Board members will uphold these commitments and hold their colleagues to them as well. The board's collective commitments will also become part of an all-new board members' orientation. During the board's December self-evaluation and July meeting, the board will reflect on how well the commitments are being observed. These check-ins are included on the board calendar and will appear on the meeting agenda under boardmanship.
So after that introduction, the first thing on here is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is a pyramid-shaped graphic. It has a large, broad base, and it ends in a pinnacle at the top. And we want our students and staff to be able to reach the top of this pyramid.
Can we put it up for people, Tyler? It's under.
I don't know if it's on there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it is.
Board collective commitments, next one.
there you go. No, the next one,
Next agenda item.
the next.
So while he's bringing that up,
Yeah, it's just easier to, there you go,
so
the next.
Next one.
Sorry,
No, the next item,
Next item,
that one.
that one.
it's too tight.
There you go.
So now you can see the pyramid, hopefully on screen. And we want students and staff to reach the top of this pyramid. And to do that, they need to have all of these needs met in order from bottom to top. School districts understand that this is the ultimate goal and therefore have become responsible for providing a large portion of this list. At the bottom, you have psychological needs such as air and heat and clothing and hygiene and light, water, food, shelter, and sleep. Above that, you have safety needs, health, personal, emotional, and financial security. Above that, you have love and belonging with your family, friendship, trust, and acceptance. And above that, you have esteem, respect, self-esteem, dignity, accomplishment, and recognition. And then at the pinnacle, we have self-actualization, which is the desire to achieve one's full potential, pursuing their goals. The board represents approximately 1,500 students in the school, approximately 225 employees, and then the parents and the community. And I recently checked the census data. There's about 8,600 people in our community, in our district. So we have to think about all of those groups when we make our decisions. And then prior to board meetings, every one of the board members should endeavor to attend all regular and special board and committee meetings, the monthly meetings, the finance and facility, policy, curriculum, contractor and review, and any other assignments they have agreed to take on, such as CISA 5, OSC, LCAT, and co-curricular report. They should come to the meetings prepared to having read all materials in board docs and emails that pertain to the meeting. They should clarify any questions or concerns on the agenda items with the administration prior to the meeting. Board members should research agenda items on their own, independent of what is presented in board docs, and bring relevant data and information to the discussion from credible sources. You can bring copies of these data and information for other board members. They should endeavor to arrive at meetings 10 minutes early, engage in a brief informal check-in with other board members and the administration.
During a meeting, provide a copy of norms of collaboration for each board member. Respect community members giving public input and those presenting to the board. Public meetings should not start with all members in, board meetings should not start with all members in complete agreement. Agreement is what comes out of covering an agenda item with a detailed briefing by administration or special presentation, throughout thorough discussion amongst board members and administration, and clarifying questions. Clarifying questions at meetings and events are necessary for deep understanding of agenda items. More detailed explanations help others in the room and those watching board events online. It is our job to educate each other and the community on matters that pertain to the efficient functions of the school board. Members should discuss agenda items with truth and heart using factual information, refraining from using assumptions, speculation, and vague memories. Discussion should be collaborative and open, with individual board members speaking in turn. Do not take discussion points personally and respect each other's viewpoints, even if they do not agree with your own. Encourage conflicting opinions from other board members and play devil's advocate if there are no opposing opinions offered. Help and encourage other board members to give their individual viewpoints during discussions. Clarify your own viewpoints and try to paraphrase other board members' viewpoints to help the group understand everyone. During information-rich or lengthy discussions on agenda items, board members can and should jot down short notes of their thoughts so they may interject them when it is their turn to speak.
During discussions, be self-aware of how you come across to other board members and the community. Speak clearly so everyone can hear, maintain eye contact when speaking directly to other individuals, and listen deeply to others using both eyes and ears. Refrain from side conversations and rehashing the discussion points. Having a thorough and open discussion is the ultimate goal for each agenda item. It is okay to leave an agenda item and not be in agreement with the final outcome. However, what the board decision is at the end of the discussion on an agenda item, all members of the board agree to accept and respect that decision after the meeting. To be an effective board, we need to be honest and clear with each other and present a united front to those we serve. Any conflicts with other board members or administration should be held until the end of the meeting and then dealt with at that time, or in a closed session where we discuss personal matters. After meeting, relax and reflect. Before the next meeting, share any concerns with the board president or district administration so they may be addressed before the next meeting.
Norms of collaboration. Pausing. Pausing before responding or asking a question allows time for thinking and enhances dialogue, discussion, and decision-making. Paraphrasing. Using a paraphrase starter that is comfortable for you, such as so, or as you are, or you're thinking, and following the starter with an efficient paraphrase assists members of the group in hearing and understanding one another as they converse and make decisions. Posing questions. Two intentions of posing questions are to explore and to specify thinking. Questions may be posed to explore perceptions, assumptions, and interpretations, and to invite others to inquire into their thinking. For example, what might be some conjectures that you are exploring? Use focusing questions such as, which students specifically, or what might be an example of that, to increase the clarity and precision of group members' thinking. Inquire into others' ideas before advocating one's own. Putting ideas on the table. Ideas are the heart of meaningful dialogue and discussion. Label the intention of your comments. For example, here is one idea, or one thought I have is, or here is a possible approach, or another consideration might be.
Providing data. Providing data, both qualitative and quantitative, in a variety of forms supports group members in constructing shared understanding from their work. Data have no meaning beyond that which we make of them. Shared meaning develops from collaboratively exploring, analyzing, and interpreting data. Paying attention to self and others. Meaningful dialogue and discussion are facilitated when each group member is conscious of self and of others and is aware of what she or he is saying and how it is said, as well as how others are responding. This includes paying attention to learning styles when planning, facilitating, and participating in group meetings and conversations. Presuming positive intentions. Assuming that others' intentions are positive promotes and facilitates meaningful dialogue and discussion and prevents unintentional put-downs. Using positive intentions in speech is one manifestation of this norm.
So the board can have any discussion they would like regarding this. One of the things I would suggest is as you read through these, is we plan on meeting with Drew again. If there's things you want to look at adding or deleting or things that we're missing anything, kind of jot those down and bring those to that meeting. The board really doesn't have to take any action on these whatsoever, or they can act to reaffirm your pledge to continue to utilize and hold yourselves accountable to them. So I'll kind of open it up for the board to.
There were a few items from the last policy committee meeting that we want to bring to Drew and
Yeah,
have discussion.
mhm.
So there were two or three, I think.
Right. That-
So,
That,
yep.
yeah, that will come up then. So do we want to, move to reaffirm our pledge as it is?
I move to reaffirm our pledge to continue to utilize and hold ourselves accountable to the School District of Lodi Board of Education collective commitments.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
I see, in reading through this and tonight, I see a couple places where we could change some of this stuff and update some of this stuff, because it is 2 years old now.
Yeah.
I
Right.
see
Yep.
different perspective on it.
Mhm.
So I'll wait for Drew to come.
Yeah.
Right, so anybody that has stuff, make yourself notes, so when Drew gets here, we're set to go. Make his time valuable.
Mo, when is the first one again?
August 11? I'm pulling it out, but that's
Okay.
sometime in August.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds, right, and it really, for those of you who weren't able to weren't there
That's all
last
right.
time, it is really good, I thought it was good.
That's a Sunday, so that's
August
not,
14th.
clearly not. it.
14th, yeah, I was gonna say, it was during the week. That's a Tuesday?
I was in the teens almost.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay. All right, so if anybody, that in your whole calendar, okay. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 6-0.
I just want to point out, I don't think this board realizes how unique it is to have something like this, right? And not, most boards don't have these type of collective commitments and affirm to that, and I think it helps drive the work and helps build the relationships between board members. So I think it's a very positive thing for you as board members individually and for our district as a whole, that you've gone through that process, and I think it's great that we're gonna go through it again.
And I love the fact that we do it whenever, I mean, we're new, everybody, there's some new people and like Adam said, even for us that aren't new, it's 2 years ago, so things can change. But also, I have talked to other people on school boards and other places, and they are usually very amazed when they say, well, how does everybody get along? I said, we get along, so there you go. We do. And, but that I know is a big part of it, that we started out, and I love the fact that we did like for those of you who weren't there, the lanes of which responsibility is who, because I think every district works a little different with that. But it makes you know what your responsibilities are, and you can really be clear when you're working with that stuff, so I appreciate it a lot.
Yep.
So, all right, that was approved, so now we're into, we are down into daycare.
Yeah,
Contracts.
our daycare contracts. So attached are our daycare contracts for TLC Learning Center and Kitty Corner Daycare. Kitty Corner utilizes typically the elementary school OSC building. Right now they're using the middle school because of the roofing project.
They are using the middle school?
Yes.
Okay.
And then TLC uses the primary school for before and after school care. So I would recommend approval of both these 2-year contracts.
I will make a motion to approve daycare contracts as presented.
And I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. 6-0. All right, so now we have, let me see, policy review.
Policy. So one of the things that changes with Neola policy is we only have first reads of policies. We don't do second reads anymore, per the new Neola policy. Which is good, because we have to do Title IX policy tonight, and it has to be in place by August 1st. But before we get to Title IX, there is a few minor changes that were made to an overnight field trip medication form for the middle school, so that's one of the first things that came through the policy committee. And then we have received the updated, now moving on to Title IX, we received the updated Title IX policy and related material. And this, again, as I said, has to be approved by August 1st, 2024. The policy committee reviewed these documents and have moved them forward to the full board with a recommendation for approval. So the major changes in Title IX And those of you who saw our email, I emailed these today, but I just wanted to share them with people. It has expanded the definition of sexual discrimination and sex-based harassment. So the definition of sex has been expanded to include sexual orientation, gender identity, and pregnancy. It enlarged the scope of covering activities and complaints, added pregnancy and pregnancy-related conditions, so like applies to current pregnancies, past pregnancies, people trying to get pregnant, anything, again, related to pregnancy. It increased our Title IX coordinator's responsibility. It revised the Title IX grievance procedure requirements. It has now some specific considerations for students with disabilities. There's some enhanced record-keeping requirements, and there's increased training requirements. So there's an annual training for all employees, including coaches, advisors, everybody. So that we will have to incorporate that into the beginning of the year. The other thing that is unique compared to when we did this 4 years ago is we will have to keep our current Title IX policy in place. So if something happens that would have happened before August 1st, it will be handled by our current policy. If it happens after August 1st, it will be handled by the new policy. If it happens both, then it's up to our Title IX coordinator to decide which policy to use. But a lot of times we don't find out about something till like 3 or 4 months later. So it could be October and we find out something that happened in May, and we have to have that. So we have these two policies at the same time. So there is a policy that you're approving tonight, non-discrimination on the basis of sex and educational program or activities. There's administrative guidelines, 2 of them, one for our current policy and one for this new policy, that just kind of talks through the process you use. And then there's a notice of and statement of non-discrimination form that we will use when we need to share information about that to cover us, that we said that we don't discriminate, and you have to use that form. So again, we went through these in a lot of depth at the policy committee level. Not a lot there's some choices here, but not really a lot.
Right.
Just the other thing that the community may have heard and board members may have heard is there are lawsuits in regards to Title IX implementation. There's 5 lawsuits currently happening in the country regarding Title IX, which impacts 19 states. It does not, none of these lawsuits impact Wisconsin. So again, the requirements is this is in place by August 1st, unless there is a court injunction. We don't have a court injunction. I don't see that happening because a lot of the things that are in Title IX reflect our federal court and the decisions they've been making. So. And finally, the last piece, there was some concern about how this impacts athletics. There's not anything really in here about athletics per se. There is supposed to be more guidance coming out in 2025 regarding Title IX in athletics. So it doesn't, I mean, obviously there's Title IX violations can happen in athletics, but there's been no major significant changes in regards to athletics.
This is just about discrimination, you know, because that's, yeah. I mean, at first glance, it's like, oh, but it's all about discrimination. There's, looks like about a dozen state and federal statutes, US codes that are cited in these, so it's, I mean, it's all federally state mandated.
Yeah, so everybody in the state's going through this right now.
Yep.
I went through a training last week. There's another training tomorrow, which I'm gonna miss, but they send out the recording, so all administrators are going through the training I went through last week in our district. Their superintendent's making them do that all, just so we're, and then there's 2 other trainings that Dr. Carls and Adria Schrader will be going through, because they are coordinators. I will go through them as well. And then as we get to the end of or beginning of the school year, there's a training that all staff will have to go through.
And will that training be basically online for
It
them?
is online.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure, but the cool thing about having Neola, it's free. This training's been free.
Yeah.
So like WASB's putting this training out right now, and it's pretty expensive. And it was, last time we did it was really expensive. Plus, last time we did this, we paid our attorney a lot of money to redo our policies for us.
So we've
Neola
just
just
made Neola
updated the
worthwhile.
policy. Right, so it was one of the reasons, and it's one of the reasons we went to Neola.
Yep.
Right, just so that would happen. So it's been a very beneficial move for us. So we would look for approval.
I move to approve administration guideline AG 5330.04, Policy 2264, Administrative Guideline AG 2264, Administrative Guideline AG 2266, and Form FM 2264 F1 as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Oops.
Aye.
Are there any more discussion first? Is there any more discussion first? Okay. No, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And thanks to the policy committee for all their work and reviewing all that information. It was long.
That was like making your eyes go like this.
It was hard, it was tough. It's, yeah. It's small
All
print.
right. So gifts and
We don't
donations.
have any this month?
No? And then we have committee reports. So CISA, did
Did
CISA
not
meet?
meet.
Co-curricular, there's nothing, right? No. OSC, charter, anything?
I do have a report. Okay, so on June 25th, the OSC board held a retreat at Mary Klein's house in Lodi. The retreat consisted of the following. We welcomed Jess Holman, the new OSC advisor. Budget conversations took place as we close out the fiscal year and plan for the next fiscal year. Another item of discussion was recruitment of additional board members. As a result of this discussion, a document was developed and circulated to current board members, which provides talking points, including characteristics that make OSC unique. This is a valuable document which can be used in many different ways in the future. We also welcome new board member Angie Lathrop, who has been a part of OSC in different capacities in the past, as well as a former Lodi school board member. The upcoming lemonade stand at the fair, I'm happy to report, will happen as planned. The good news is that there is at least one volunteer signed up for every single shift. There are shifts available throughout the whole fair, so some for adult slots, some for kids. So if anybody's interested in signing up, you can still sign up for some shifts. There was also discussion about the Act 20 training, the grade level recess plan, and the OSC guiding document, which consists of the following components: student and parent voice, key stakeholder intake, fulfilling the district's strategic plan, staff intake and development, OSC board intake and development, OSC mission and goals, and charter renewal process. And I do not know when the next meeting is, so I'll get back to you guys after.
How do people sign up? Find out
Oh,
to sign
yeah.
up? Where do they go to?
Thank you. So
Yes.
that was shared via Peach, if you're signed up for Peach
Okay.
Jar, you will find a flyer with a QR code via Peach Jar. Trying to think if there's another way to
They can
access
get the
it.
Peach Jar off of our website if they're not signed up also.
What was that?
They can also access Peach Jar off
Oh,
our website if
perfect.
they're not signed up.
So for those of you that aren't on the Peach Jar mailing list, the email list, you can go to the district website and access all the flyers that talk about the various events and activities that kids and people in the community can sign up for. And you can sign up, and it'll take you to a Sign Up Genius page where you can sign up. Yeah. What?
I'm sorry. Just sign up genius. I mean, when I go to do anything like that, I don't feel like.
You don't feel like a genius?
No,
I know.
I know. It's just too funny.
You don't have to have a Sign Up Genius account. You can just
Apparently, okay,
sign
that's
up.
nice.
So if you go to the district website,
Show up.
if you go to the district website and click on the Our Families tab, there is a flyers,
Okay, yeah,
Link.
there you go.
and that's a Peach Jar link there. And if you go through them, you'll find them.
I just wanna make sure people
Yeah.
know about
Nope.
it.
And, Sarah, how many people are on the board of OSC?
You know, actually, I unfortunately don't know the total number. So I have to get back to you on that.
Okay, I was just curious.
I mean, now we have Angie, but I still don't know. Do you know, Adam, how many are on there?
Well, I'm not there, but off the top of my head, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4 that I know for sure.
Okay.
So, but there might be more.
They probably don't have an odd number, I mean, an even.
They need more. It's not enough.
And I do know that, I mean, I didn't put this in the report, but I know that they've put a call out, at least one person, they've asked 2 people directly, and one's already said no, and the other person, they haven't heard back yet from.
And the time commitment is a meeting a month, or?
Yeah, I mean, apart from things like helping out at the lemonade stand,
Sure.
which you're obviously not forced to do, but
Right.
highly encouraged, and,
Mhm.
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Personnel Committee? You guys meet?
I don't don't have anything.
No? Okay. Curriculum Committee. So we met, and it was the textbook approval for modern carpentry and My Perspectives middle school curriculum. And then we had academic standards, next generation, science standards, ACT, Corral College, reading, the readiness, and was academic standards, foundation, okay. 24-25 school year. So all those things are looked at and came to you, some of them. Pre-session, Nick took us through everything that the teachers, the new teachers, the new staff, as well as all the teachers are gonna go through before school starts. What, does it start August, 21st?
So new staff will start
They are
on
a day
the
earlier.
21st, yep.
On the 21st.
Yep, that'll be new staff, and then all staff will report on the 26th.
Right. And then also for the educational assistants and support staff, there are also days for training, so, and those are all, there's so much. I mean, I have to say to people, when I first started as a school nurse, which is like 30 years ago now, till now, the amount of training that those teachers have to go through, and all staff, not just the teachers, pre-school starting is unbelievable. And we always hear from them, oh, we need more time. Well, the state and the federal government has said we have to do more and more and more that they have to finish, and some of it can be online, but not all of it is. Some of it has to be in person, so.
I just added one today, right?
And
Title IX.
you just added one today, the Title IX, so there we go. And they're all doing Act 20, I mean, there's always the stuff, and again, they do it year after year, so people expect it and they roll through it, but it's still, it's not easy. Facility and finance, you didn't meet, right?
Nope.
Policy, we just talked
Policy,
about?
yep, we met and did the Title IX, the field trip form, and then we did not act on, the last three items, the outstanding impact awards, political activity and confidentiality. We're gonna ask, with the impact awards, a discussion with the Rotary, and then, the last two items, political activity and confidentiality, we will, bring up with Drew when we meet in August, so more to come on those.
Okay, so that's it for committee reports. Future meetings, agenda items, information, discussion.
One of the things that Heather Barron had shared with me, she'd like the policy committee to look at, is advertising on school grounds.
Because we have a
We have a
guidance,
policy.
and we have
So
we have a
should talk
policy, and we have
about that.
guidance on that, because we went through that a couple of years ago.
Does that come to policy, or does that go to facility and finance?
We have a policy on it,
So it comes
so
to
we should look at the policy
policy
first.
It might,
Okay.
yeah, it's probably gonna see both
Sure.
committees in the end.
If you choose to make changes.
If, right,
Right.
right.
Is there
Sure.
a concern raised about it?
No, asking
Oh,
if
okay.
we should do some more, like,
Oh, okay.
one of the questions came up is, I think one of the groups some group wanted to do a fundraiser, like one of the teams wanted to do a fundraiser by putting advertising in the stadium. Not one team could do that because it's used by multiple
Right.
teams, right? It would have to
Right.
be, and then secondly, our policy talks about not having advertising in classroom space. The stadium is a classroom space,
Stadium is
like we
classroom
use it
space, right.
every day for physical education.
Yeah,
So, not to say
Ban.
that can't be changed, or we can have a conversation about that,
Yeah.
but that's where the policy sits
Okay.
right now.
there has to be guidelines.
There was some work done with, prior to me being superintendent, on the JV softball diamond, and doing some advertisement, and then COVID happened, and that kind of
Yeah.
faded away, but, so we could look at that. One of the other places we could look at is possibly our live stream events, like you put something on.
Sure,
When that first happened, again, that happened during COVID, the board was pretty adamant at the time, we didn't want advertising on there. But again, that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago,
isn't that nice?
when we had that decision, so.
Well, we have our marquee out here that
We do
is
have a
used
marquee.
for.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why I was sort of curious about what, because there are businesses listed on the marquee out
Well,
there.
that was
They
originally
donated
Good,
it.
Good Samaritan,
donated
Okay, that's
originally
what I
donated, and then
wondered,
that's
okay.
been sold.
So we have a
Okay.
couple scoreboards that have
Okay.
things on them because they donated
Okay.
money
Yeah.
to do that.
Oh, and,
Yeah.
yeah, the high school.
We
Did
gave-
the high school ever have any signs up, or is this other schools that I'm thinking of? I know I've seen, like banners up in stadiums, but maybe it wasn't Lodi. I mean, I'm talking 10 or more years ago, so maybe it was,
We've had,
maybe it
like-
was other schools that we went to.
Yeah, we've had like Guardians of Lodi Pride
Okay, yeah,
or
but no.
Lodi Pride,
this-
stuff like that,
yeah, yeah,
banners
yeah.
or like, congratulations seniors or
Right,
that
right,
kind of
right.
stuff up, but we haven't had anything.
So it must be the other schools I'm
Yeah.
thinking of that
Yeah,
I've
so there's
seen
other
it
schools
at.
that do it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And there's
yeah.
other people like I can think of one right now, I go to the basketball court and there's 4 logos on it.
Right.
From different
Mhm.
area businesses to help pay for their floor.
Right.
So, again, it's a good conversation to have.
Sure. We can certainly discuss.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be
That's
on
what we're
the
there for.
next one. Okay.
So, all
Sounds
right.
good.
Then that is it.
That is it.
That's it. We do not have to go back into closed session, so
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.